Hello and welcome to Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. Today, the Wall City, a Euro game from Mercury. And today I have a special guest. It's Daryl. Hey. Daryl Andrews, one of the designers. I can show it to you here. And he is showing me the game. You can see here all the components, and we are starting a little bit of playing this together. And later on, Daryl and we will talk about this game for a couple of minutes, and you can listen this special version of Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. See you later. So we just ended up with the Wall City, and what a surprise. Daryl win by country miles, I would say. Okay.
Little advantage.
Yeah. There is a lot of learning curve in the game, definitely. So in my first one was not the best scoring ever, but next time I will definitely beat Daryl. And
No. I'm a far superior player.
Okay, really, or is it Stephen?
Well, Stephen's the brains of our operation, yes.
Okay, so let's say if I'm coming over and play with you and Stephen, then definitely Stephen will slap us into the face, or we have to combine?
We may have to work together.
Okay, I see, okay. Explain me a little bit of your idea behind the game, if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why you, as a North American guy, created such a good Euro game?
Well, thank you. Yeah, the original design, or the idea was, these cards, they kind of look like dominoes.
Yeah.
It's a number and a number. So the original design, we actually used dominoes, and we would lay them down for the roads. We'd stand them on their sides as their walls.
Okay.
And we put them face down on the outside. So the whole idea was, could we come up using the same thing, a domino, and play around with how it worked? Cutting up a city with roads, building walls.
Yeah. Okay. Over the course of the game, we are placing these walls or roads. These are roads and these are walls. So, and it looks a little bit like this kit game where you have these squares and painted that on your paper. Are you inspired by that game, or are you a big fan of that game as a kid?
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely remember that game. We used to call it dots, where you'd connect the dots.
Okay,
you'd make the little squares.
Okay, that's the American name for that?
Yeah, that's the one I knew.
Okay.
But yeah, I love that game. I was really inspired by this idea of the neighborhoods, you carve them up as you go. And so you make the different neighborhoods, because I love area control games.
Okay.
And so I thought, what if the areas, you decided what the shapes were, what the different areas could be.
Okay, so we are starting the game over in this area, and he cut off this neighborhoods first. So you would say a good strategy for you is to claim your own personal neighborhoods very early in the game, and
sometimes.
Hope that works.
Yeah, I mean, today I used the strategy of, I went for a few quick neighborhoods. One of the reasons I went for this corner right away was I noticed there were 3 of the purples on the map, but no other had 3 dice. So I went and chased after that color as well. And I
green
also
had 3 as well.
Yeah, and then green had 3. But so I thought, well, trade off, I'll try to go for these 3, because yellow there was only 1 and orange there was only 1.
Okay.
So I thought, if I go for those 3 colors and get a neighborhood very quickly, that might work to my advantage.
Okay. Interesting, yes.
So that was my strategy, and then you went for the neighborhoods with the bonuses. Yeah. Sometimes works really well, but I had the special ability of jumping in.
Yes, especially.
So that helped me a lot with countering your strategy.
Yeah, I figured out the strategy, or I thought I figured out the strategy to go into these bonus point areas and separate that are really powerful, but you screwed me a little bit up with these cards. And,
yeah, I had the salters.
And I definitely underestimated the power of these cards. They change a lot of. And you definitely have to keep a track on that.
Yeah, versus when you had this worked very well for you. Later, you use this one for breaking a wall.
Yeah.
That can be very strategic. And we didn't even have, a lot of these we didn't have in the game, but even, you know, something like this removes walls and roads. That could be very powerful.
With your experience of the game, would you say you play that more fast, more intuitive, or is it more that you think about a move and think, oh, I have this card, remove a wall,
right?
I need to prepare that. Can I use that for this area? And later on, all these noblemen run away. Are you more well planned?
Yeah,
in the game?
that's a good question. So I play planned. I plan most of my turns right from the get-go.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, interaction. You might block off an area that I have plans for, but I try to plan everything, and I especially plan with my power.
Okay.
My co-designer Stephen, he often plays very intuitively, so he just goes with the flow, figures out how the tides are shifting, and adapts. So he's all about adapting to his competition. I'm more like I have a plan.
So that means, which I understand you correctly, I guess, you have a plan, and if I try to screw up your plan a little bit, then you build around and follow your path.
Yes.
And Stephen is just
go with the flow.
Yeah.
The next choice is a whole new world.
Interesting. So yeah, I'm also more. My thoughts about that game is more that you can sit down, watch what's on the board, make a calculation, and then quick go ahead with the next 4, 5, 6 moves in your head.
Sure.
And if it works, it works. But if the other ones screw you up, then you maybe have to reschedule it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interactive. So, like, because your options are always shrinking, as much as you have good intentions or a good plan, you always have to adapt.
Yeah. What you know definitely is that there are only 3 places without roads at the end of the game. So most of the neighborhoods are separated.
Yep.
So with this advantage of knowledge, you know exactly that small neighborhoods are the main or the common ending in the game.
Can be good counters. I mean, depending on which cards come out. So, for instance, there's a card that lets you build on top of a road. So then all of a sudden you'll have 4 spaces empty. There's the break a road, so you could have 5 places empty.
Okay.
So depending on which mix comes into play and what people draft, then, or you could choose which cards you want. Like if you want lots of roads missing, choose those cards and play it that way.
As far as I know, all the game designers, you must have plans for future upcoming expansions, right?
Sure. Well, we want. I mean, it all depends on if people like the game.
Of course, yes.
If the game does well, we already have a whole bunch of neat maps and ideas that we'd love to introduce to people. Even this one, when we showed the publisher some of our future map ideas, they liked it so much they included a second map already on with the T intersections.
Okay, so your next steps should be, if the people and the crowd love the game, to add on new maps with a slightly different new rules,
so they're very, very simple rules that add to it. It's mostly the same rules, but really when the map changes, then all of a sudden the gameplay is different. So for instance, on the other side, instead of 4-way stops, we have a lot of T intersections. And so then that plays differently. Another idea is we're going to have rivers involved, or maybe walls inside, more players potentially. We have a whole bunch of different ideas on how to mix it up and make the same game with a new map or a few new twists.
Do you have any idea how the publisher Mercury is? Which path is he going on? New expansions? Is it every time a new big box, like Days of Wonder, or is it more like Power Grid 2F, which is really nice? You get only a new board, a slightly new rules, maybe 1 or 2 new cards, and then you only pay 8 or 10 euro for that, or maybe over here $15.
Sure. Yeah, no, those are. That's a good question. I guess it would really depend on how fast the original game sells,
Yeah.
and then they'll make a decision based on what people want. So if people have, you know, share it with your friends and share your ideas on Board Game Geek, and I'm sure they would consider, you know, what people want. And I know
From my perspective, only bring out a new board
Right.
and new cards
Yep.
and sell it for €10 and that's it.
Sure, that would be wonderful.
Maybe for the second edition you can pop up the box a little bit to have space in it for
Yeah.
2 or 3 more.
Well, the nice thing is that it's pretty deep already, so you could actually probably fit at least another board in there if you wanted.
Oh yeah.
Or if you took this out, you could fit probably a few boards.
Yeah.
So that's one factor. I know too. There's, you know, we could come up with some other ideas of some new components that people might want.
Okay. Interesting. That is a book with almost 20 pages in it, and after you explained me the rules, it sounds very easy.
Yeah. So we try to cover every scenario you might have, but
Okay.
really, you could teach the whole game just from this page. So
Oh.
this is the all the rules at a glance.
Okay.
So that's all I look at. But in there's, you know, illustrations, questions, the appendix for all the cards.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Daryl, thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
teaching me the game
Pleasure.
and for designing the game. And yeah, I hope that is a great success for you and for Mercury as well.
Awesome.
And yeah, definitely we will keep an eye on you.
Awesome.
And
Thank you.
yes, maybe you can make it once to the German market in person to Spiel or to other
I would love that. I would love to visit.
big conventions in Germany,
Yeah.
and then have a warm welcome in your country. Yeah, so far I would
Well,
say.
I currently live in where we were used to be known as New Berlin. So,
Oh, really?
And the second biggest Oktoberfest is here. The
Second biggest in the world?
in the world, yeah.
Wow.
Here, so
So you're really improved with beer drinking.
yes, I am very familiar with good beer.
Okay, so in this case, you have to come over to
I know,
Germany,
I know.
and then we will show you what beer drinking is really all about. Anyway, thanks so much, and bye bye.